Grand Theft Auto Vice City is probably not a game I should have been playing at 7 years old, but man am I glad I was able to get away with it. In a lot of ways, it shaped my sense of humor and taste in media, and for as long as I can remember, Vice City has been one of my favorite games of all time. Even though I can acknowledge that there are objective improvements in later games in the franchise, Vice City remains my favorite GTA title to this day, and one that I repeatedly go back to. It's a classic story of revenge and redemption as Tommy Vercetti rises up to take over Vice City on his way to get payback on those who did him wrong. It's a satisfyingly cathartic experience that has an unforgettable atmosphere, a large variety of missions, and more 80s references than you can count. Interestingly, aside from the optional payphone jobs, the game's missions all fall neatly into one of three distinct categories. You have the main story missions, which include all dealings with Vercetti's associates such as Avery Carrington, Ken Rosenberg, and Colonel Cortez. You have the gang missions, in which Tommy does work for Vice City's various criminal organizations such as the Haitians, the Cubans, and the Bikers. And finally, you have the asset missions, where Tommy slowly but surely purchases businesses to add to his ever-growing empire. These asset missions in particular have always stood out to me for the way they open up gameplay in Vice City. Players are now given a choice of not only which order they'd like to tackle upcoming missions, but they can also choose what missions they want to take on as well. In my mind, this doubles down on one of Grand Theft Auto's biggest strengths, as the ability to bounce back and forth between mission trees has always helped the games feel somewhat non-linear. And even though a majority of the assets must still be completed, only having to complete 6 of the 9 available allows you to potentially skip assets you find boring, tedious, or simply too difficult, which brings true non-linearity into the franchise. This is a welcome addition for those non-100% playthroughs where you'd rather not sit and waste time ogling pixelated tits at the pole position club. I know personally that I'm going to avoid the Cherry Popper ice cream factory in any casual playthrough I do, both for the agonizingly long delivery mission associated with its completion, as well as the infamous save glitch that can corrupt your save file, erasing all your progress to that point. And I'm sure for others, being able to skip the janky Checkpoint Charlie race mission in the boatyard, or avoiding the insanity of Carmageddon in Kaufman Cab's mission tree, is something that gives players a sigh of relief. It's a big factor as to why Vice City's third act succeeds as well as it does, as this ability to choose your path makes you feel more in control of Tommy Vercetti's destiny. The missions found in this section of the game are some of the most unique and memorable in all of Vice City 2. G Spotlight from the Interglobal Studios asset and Copland from the Vercetti Gang asset immediately come to mind when thinking of missions with iconic set pieces in Vice City. Phil Cassidy's Boomshine Saigon job hilariously reveals how the marksman really lost his arm. Not to mention the penultimate mission in the game, Cap the Collectors from Printworks, for how it intensely sets up the game's grand finale. However, of all the assets in Vice City, the one that I believe rises above the rest is the car showroom Vercetti buys called Sunshine Autos. At first glance, this may seem like an odd choice for the best asset in Vice City, and I actually imagine that among the group, this was likely the asset skipped by most players. After all, without a good knowledge of the map and where certain vehicles spawn, this can certainly be one of the most frustrating parts of a 100% run. Additionally, importing vehicles isn't unique to Vice City and can be found in nearly every Grand Theft Auto game. Also, the fact that there are no actual missions for this asset may also be a bit of a turnoff for some, as aside from the initial cutscene that plays when purchasing Sunshine Autos, there's really no plot development here. It really just boils down to Tommy roaming the islands of Vice City, stealing cars and bringing them back to the garage, and I have to say, it's great. Sunshine Autos excels for several reasons, but first and foremost, it excels because it allows you to decide how involved you want to get with it. To complete the asset, Vercetti is only required to locate 6 vehicles on the first import list, and Sunshine Autos will already begin to start generating money. Though $1,500 is the lowest of any of the assets that turn a profit, and somewhat disappointing for a property that cost $50,000, this can be increased over time by completing additional lists in the garage. Each list bumps the profitability up, first to $4,000 a day, then to $6,500 a day, and finally to $9,000 a day, placing it second only to the Malibu Club. This provides tremendous incentive to keep importing cars, as along with the money earned for each car brought successfully in, a fully realized Sunshine Autos asset is among the best investments in the game. Another element that makes Sunshine Auto such a fantastic asset is the fact that it is a passive objective that can be completed gradually. This makes it an excellent choice for your first asset, as it allows you to continue to explore the game's other missions while giving you a secondary objective to keep in the back of your mind at all times. This helps to prevent burnout as you complete the 4 list of imports, because not only is there no pressure to keep searching for cars if you're frustrated or bored, but you can always mix it up and come back at another time. On the other hand, if you've grown tired of normal missions, tackling all 4 lists in a row can serve as a nice gameplay palate cleanse before you launch into the other more straightforward assets in the game. Having this freedom to complete the car list at your own pace is appreciated, and is made even more enjoyable by the amount of garages they provide you at Sunshine Autos. This makes it easy for players on their second playthrough, or those using guides for 100% completion, to store cars for future lists down the road, which creates so much organic excitement when you stumble upon a vehicle you know you need for a list. Now you're forced to reevaluate your priorities. After all, you can always retry a mission that you failed, but who knows when you're going to be able to locate that super common car that is randomly impossible to find because you're looking for it again. And the satisfaction of collecting a full set of vehicles so that you can swiftly complete a list without leaving the garage is a feeling that is hard to replicate elsewhere in Vice City. More importantly, this passive objective of searching for cars enhances the general gameplay of Vice City and promotes exploration outside the main missions. It brings value to the plethora of side content in the game by allowing you to freely roam the map and find secrets without feeling like you're wasting time. In fact, it can help other tasks, like collecting all 100 hidden packages, feel less daunting because you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone as you zigzag all over the map. This encourages you to drive around just to see what you can find throughout the different islands, while also keeping a watchful eye out for the vehicle you need. Inevitably, this searching will put you in some crazy situations that you likely wouldn't find yourself in during a normal mission. For example, if I'm on my way to an objective in a mission and a random CPU smashes into my car, I might just brush that off and be on my way, whereas outside a mission you can rest assured that the NPC that just hit me will soon breathe its final breath. Similarly, a carjacking seen by the police might result in a fast escape to lose my 1 star during a mission, while if I'm free roaming, that 1 star might just be the beginning of a senseless 6-star citywide rampage. And for as intense as the split-second decision is when you're deciding whether or not abandoning a mission is worth it for a car you just found, it doesn't hold a candle to the level of anxiety reached when trying to escape to a spray and pay to lose a big wanted level. Seriously, you don't know sadness until you've had a vehicle explode in front of Sunshine Autos that would have completed the list you're currently working on because you couldn't escape the police. Those tragic moments aside, these rampage scenarios define what make Grand Theft Auto such a legendary franchise. As someone who's always been gameplay first, it's hard to find other games that can produce the level of pure fun that can be found in one of GTA's chaotic sprees. In my view, it's a huge part of the Grand Theft Auto series' identity, and I'm not sure there's anything aside from the actual rampage challenges themselves that push you towards those moments more than tracking down cars for Sunshine Autos. Now, perhaps I'm just a giant psychopath that turns any minor transgression on the road into a full-fledged war on the United States military, but I'd like to believe that any normal person would have that same response. Regardless, it's a positive that I associate with Sunshine Autos, and part of what makes the car hunt such a good experience. Fortunately, if all this fooling around seems like a distraction that you don't want to deal with, the majority of the vehicles are found in set locations around the map for an easy, no-hassle pickup. As a result, Sunshine Auto's objective is actually one of the easiest assets to complete with the knowledge of these various spawn points around Vice City. In my mind, this is what takes it from being subjectively great to objectively great, because though there is some randomness in that first list, Sunshine Autos is largely what you want it to be. Want to spend hours combing the map for vehicles while getting into numerous shootouts and car chases along the way? Sunshine Autos has you covered. Want to covertly locate your prize and sneak it back to the garage undetected? Sunshine Autos has you covered for that too. And regardless of method, you will gain experience both in driving skill and knowledge of Vice City's map along the way. Importing cars also gives you time to enjoy the game's stellar soundtrack, including my personal favorite radio station VCPR with the hilarious public talk show Pressing Issues hosted by Maurice Chavez. Obviously, there are plenty of other moments where you need to drive in Vice City, but I can honestly say I would never have been able to appreciate just how incredible and funny these radio stations were if not for the time spent locating cars around the city. Honestly, it's maybe the thing I'm most nervous about for the upcoming GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition version of Vice City, as I'm not sure they'll be able to bring back every track for this new release. And while in the grand scheme of Vice City it may not be a big deal if that's the case, it's something that I truly believe would put a damper on the wonderful Sunshine Autos experience. However, in the end, I believe that nothing can ruin the joy of looking at that new fresh list of cars you just unlocked and immediately remembering where one is located on the map or that you stored one in a garage. Those euphoric moments simply don't exist in other assets, and while it may be a little satisfying or relieving to finish a traditional mission, none of them deliver the consistent enjoyment of progress found in Sunshine Autos. Whether it's the convenience of having a spray and pay right next to the import garage, the reward of a new vehicle in the showroom for each completed list, or the variety of vehicles you'll be exposed to on your journey to completion, Sunshine Autos manages to do all the little things right. For my money, it's the best asset in Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and something I look forward to doing every playthrough. Thanks for watching. That does it for this video, but please let me know what your thoughts are down below. Do you enjoy Sunshine Autos when you play Vice City? Am I overrating this asset, or do you agree with me? I'm interested in what people like best, so please tell me what your favorite Vice City asset is down below. And if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell to stay in the loop whenever I upload a new video.